Yeah, so let's say hello and welcome to Steven.
对，我会在这边做一些英文的一些就是做一些英文的
You've been too long outside of China.
不好意思，那个有一点翻译不过来，就是在这边会做一些他们的讲话的一些记录，然后就是因为他们英文那边可能会比较长一点，如果大家有什么问题的话，可以发微信给我然后我在这边给大家简单的做一些记录。
Do we actually need the microphones? Hello? Yeah, maybe we do. Steven, how are you?
Thanks for inviting me. Maybe I'll just give a quick introduction of myself and Startupbootcamp just to correct some stuff. So I currently run the Startupbootcamp FinTech Singapore program, and I'm also going to run the Startupbootcamp China operations for the entire China. Now, what exactly is Startupbootcamp? We are an accelerator, so I wouldn't bore you with what an accelerator is. I'm sure all of you know that, right? I'll just talk about how we are different. We are global, so we have operations from America to Europe to Asia. In Asia, we are currently in China, India, and of course Singapore. Right? Number two, we are focused on a particular industry. So in Chengdu, we are only doing digital health, right? And that's for a pretty good reason, which I can elaborate on later. Singapore, we do FinTech and so on and so forth. We choose a vertical that is best suited for the city that we are entering. And thirdly, we believe in connecting startups with corporate partners that work with us. Our mission is during the acceleration period, you guys have something meaningful that you can work on together with your corporate partners.
Okay. Yeah, I will go deeper into your talking. You know what really interests me is like, why did Startup Bootcamp choose Chengdu? And what I would like to know is like, what was the process to make this decision?
Maybe I'll just talk about how all this got started. If I'm not wrong, it started all the way in 2015 when a bunch of very rich businessmen from China visited our accelerator in Eindhoven in Holland. So at that point in time, they wanted to learn more about accelerators, what exactly are we doing, and possibly work on a collaboration to bring Startupbootcamp to China. I mean, suffice to say, there were a couple of people who we had conversation with. In the end, we decided ThinkZone came to think, KrSpace in Chengdu, of course. They are the best partners whom we would like to work with. Wavelength, thinking-wise, they are very similar to us. Right? And I would like to say that's really the biggest reason why we're here. Now, when we decided that, okay, we are going to start operations in Chengdu, the natural thing is what exactly are we going to do, right? Because we focus on a particular vertical. And we're all foreigners, right? We have no idea what exactly Chengdu is famous for other than pandas and hot, right? So it's like, okay, should we do food? No idea. But of course, ThinkZone, they are a local partner here, they know. Right? The government here is very interested to push healthcare, particularly in digital health. It's also a platform that we are already developing. We started our first digital health accelerator in Miami, in the US. We started our second one in Berlin. And of course, it's natural to have something in Asia, right? And if digital health is going to fit for the China market and for Chengdu, that's what we want to do here.
So what's the reason? Because some rich people from Chengdu were just faster, or why didn't you choose Beijing and Shanghai?
I mean, honestly, there were a lot of rich people that we are talking to, right? It's really about the fit, right? So we really like ThinkZone. We find that they are a trustworthy partner to work with. And we are a bunch of foreigners, right? What do we know about China? Nothing. We need a trustworthy partner to enter a complex market like China. Right? And out of all the people that we have spoken to, ThinkZone is really the best fit for us. I'm glad that the partnership is working out so far.
So it was, I think, also your decision, right? You think, okay, let's go hot pot tenders. I mean,
well, I think put it this way: when we enter any market, we consider a couple of things. Right? Number one, is there a startup ecosystem in the first place? Right? No disrespect to other cities or other countries. But if you were to enter country X where they don't even know what the startup is, it's very difficult for us to do anything. Now, Chengdu, you do have a pretty decent startup ecosystem. Now, is it the biggest? No. All right, let's face it, but it's probably the most mature in Western China, which is great. Right? Number two, are there corporations or are there the government that are interested to support a particular vertical? Yes. The government is doing a lot to push entrepreneurship here in Chengdu. I just came from a meeting with the government when they were sharing with us some policies on what they'll be doing to support entrepreneurs, and it's really awesome. I've never seen anything like that in so many years working with entrepreneurs. So it's a great thing. Corporates are willing to work with startups as well, so it's really a no-brainer. When I visit Shanghai, of course the Shanghai government will ask me why Chengdu, why not Shanghai? I don't know. Okay, I love Shanghai, right? But then really to us, Chengdu is an untapped market. There's a lot of potential for growth. And if we can do something here, we can show that it works, we can still expand to other parts of China, which is what we want to do. Right? But we start in Chengdu, make it good, and then we go somewhere else.
Yeah, thanks for coming to Chengdu.
Thanks for seconding us. Yeah.
And I know, of course, because of this, you have to move now from Singapore to Chengdu.
Yeah, well, I am going to move from Singapore to Chengdu sometime, probably in March or April. But I've been flying in and out, right? I think this is probably my second trip to Chengdu just this month.
And also what I find really interesting is, I mean, with your background, education tech, financial tech, and now kind of health tech, where do you see actually similarities that entitle you to do this here in Chengdu, you know?
Okay, I'll just say that personally, I like working with technology that has an impact on people. Right? Now, e-commerce and stuff like that, they are great. Social media, they are great. I'm not interested in them. Right? Not to say that they are not good startups. It's just that personally, I don't feel they create as much impact compared to education, FinTech, the digital health. Right? In Silicon Valley, I had the great pleasure of meeting startups that are doing every kind of thing that you can think of. So, when I go out to meet up with them, I have to prepare myself, right? Learn about the industry and stuff like that. And I would say it's because of the training in Silicon Valley that I have a very broad base grasp of all the technologies out there. I can relate with all of them, but I personally prefer the harder stuff, which are all these EdTech, blah, blah, blah.
So you have visited also Miami and Berlin to see the startup bootcamps over there?
Well, I had visited Berlin. I was in Berlin for the Selection Days. So now Selection Days is an event where we invite our top 20 startups that we found over a 3 months period. We invite them to the city that's hosting the program. We have them meet one-on-one with all our mentors and the corporate partners that are supporting us. And then we vote for the top 10 to 12 startups that will be part of the accelerator. That's how we choose our companies, right? So it's not based on me liking you. It's not good enough. You must get the support of all our relevant partners as well. Maybe I'll just add on, why do we do it in such a roundabout manner? Right? Remember, our key philosophy is we want to build meaningful partnerships between the corporates and the startups. If the partners voted for you at selection days, chances are they will want to work further with you during the program, and something tangible will hopefully emerge from there. And that's why we want to do it in such a, I would say, a difficult way, right? Compared to us accelerators where it's really just a couple of interviews. Hey, I like you, yeah, hey, done.
I don't know if you know about it, but can you give an example of one company that now really came out of your acceleration program in Miami or Berlin, like one of the digital companies, so we get a better idea what could happen here in Chengdu?
To be frank, I'm not very sure of the program. No, Berlin is still ongoing, so they have not held their demo day yet. Miami, I believe the demo day concluded sometime in November, if I'm not wrong, but I'm not really clear about what they're doing there. But ironically, as a startup in my cohort last year in the FinTech Singapore program, that's doing something with them. Why? Their customers are insurance companies, but fundamentally, what they are doing is a chatbot to help you. Now, what exactly are they doing? First, they suck in all the data, all the health-related data from the wearable, or if you're not wearing a wearable, doesn't matter, they'll just suck it in from your iPhone and Android, right? They use their backend engine to process the data, and then they use a chatbot to give you advice. For example, hey man, you have been walking like 500 steps a day. It's not enough. No, get out there, walk more. No, it's trying to do behavior modification. Why is the insurance company interested in doing that? Because the insurance company has an incentive to make their members healthy. Remember, healthy members do not claim from insurance companies. That's the best kind of customers. Right? The worst kind of customers are those customers who claim from insurance companies every year, but you have no way to kick you out, right? Because you're already a car customer.
Smoking drinking.
Exactly. If there's a way to help modify behavior, improve the health, it's good for the company, and ultimately it's good for the customers as well. So that's what that company from Australia is doing. They've already launched, doing a pilot in Hong Kong now with an international company, and I'm trying to see if they can come to China at some point in time.
Okay, so like we've shown before, digital health is like a broad industry. We have a lot of different areas, artificial intelligence, diagnostics, wearable devices. Where do you see Chengdu developing or specializing in? Or is it active in all of these areas?
I think maybe I'll just approach it from a couple of angles. First, definition of digital health. And I think because it's so broad, it's easier to say that what we will not be looking at, right? We are not looking at drugs or medicine or biotech, right? That's clearly not digital. Right? Number two, we are not looking at medical devices that are FDA class 3. So just to give you an example of what's a class 3 device. A replacement heart valve or a stent, right? Something that's very invasive that needs to be implanted in the body. That's considered class 3. Class 1 could be, I have no idea. Class 1 could be, let me talk about class 2. It's a very surprise, it's a big surprise to me, but class 2 device is like a condom, 保险套. Why? Because it's supposed to achieve a certain medical objective, but it doesn't require a lot of supervision. Class 1 devices are devices that don't need any supervision. That's roughly how they define it, right? That's what we want to work with. Devices or products that can get to the market fast, and not a drug that requires more than 10 years of clinical trial before it can even get to the market. So yeah, it is a pretty broad area we are looking at. Wearables, apps, backend systems that can help clinics, hospitals. The possibilities are really wide.
So how does the digital health industry in Chengdu look like right now? Do we have already successful startups that are like maybe even internationally active, or?
There are a couple of very interesting startups. There's a startup that has an office in the space that we're currently in. Right, so they have linked up with, if I'm not wrong, the biggest hospital in Chengdu. No prizes for guessing which one. And what they are doing is really smart. Right? They have managed to connect their system all the way to their backend system, so you can book an appointment, you can even book your parking lot when you visit the hospital, you can do your prescription, and you can do remote consultation with their doctors. Really great. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that in any part of Southeast Asia. So I thought it's a really good example of how advanced China is right now. We are meeting a couple of digital health companies tomorrow. We are running a Fast Track event. Fast Track is an event where we want to meet up with digital health startups, have them meet our mentors who are supporting us for the program. Through the mentors, hopefully they can get some meaningful advice. And for us, it's a way to scout for good companies.
Still open for application?
Huh?
Still open?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So any digital health company today, you can still sign up to
Maybe
me.
I'll just like to make an announcement, right? So we have this tradition. If you find us a company that is accepted in the program, we'll throw you a Michelin star dinner. Now in China, the Michelin star restaurants are all in Shanghai right now. But I'm sure there's a really great restaurant in Chengdu that is the equivalent of what's out there in Shanghai. So I'll throw this out there, and I really mean it. We have given these prizes out, right?
Okay, I mean, talking about the Fast Track tomorrow, I think what's interesting for me to know is how do you spot your unicorn? Like, how do you define actually a potentially successful startup?
Yeah. So the startups that we tend to work with are earlier stage startups. At most, they have C, pre-A. They almost never have a Series A, with the exception of maybe one or two per support. So what we are really looking at is, number one, because they are early stage, right? They need to be doing something that's really different. We're not looking at startups that are competing with a competitor that's already raised Series C or Series D, right? Or they have 100 other competitors out there in the market, right? Something that's different. Number two, we are really looking at quality of the founders. At such an early stage, the idea may theoretically sound great, but it's more important to focus on founders. What makes them able to, do this startup? Are they able to execute it? It's no point having the greatest idea in the world, but you cannot execute on it, right? And number three, really, are they great guys we want to work with? We don't want to work with a couple of a-holes, who are going to cause the disruption during the program. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, based on your background, Singapore, Silicon Valley, Chengdu. Like, can you explain a bit like differences of what you've experienced back in Silicon Valley, then in Singapore, and maybe what you're expecting now to happen in Chengdu? I mean, I guess there must be a lot of difference just because of the Chinese government. I mean,
Silicon Valley is a really unique place in the world, right? Quite honestly, I spent about 5.5 years in Silicon Valley, and that's probably the best 5.5 years of my life.
and now Chengdu.
Huh? Yeah. Well, hopefully I spend a lot more time than Silicon Valley in China. But Silicon Valley is great because it's such an open environment, right? People there are very willing to share. They are willing to help you out, even if you just met them for the first time. And there are really a lot of smart people in Silicon Valley. I've never met anyone smarter than the guys in Silicon Valley, right? And you must understand why. Not only because there are two great universities in Silicon Valley, UC Berkeley and Stanford, right? Because in Silicon Valley, it draws talent from all over the US and all over the world. There are a lot of very smart Chinese founders, employees, all residing in Silicon Valley, right? Great guys, and I guess that's what makes it great. Now, Singapore, it's becoming a little bit like Silicon Valley. Singapore is a very small country, right? Only 5.5 million population. You cannot even see a world map, right? But what Singapore has done is to be open, just like Silicon Valley. We want to draw entrepreneurs from all over the world, come to Singapore and build their startup there. So it's a very international environment. But bear in mind, Singapore really built up its ecosystem less than 10 years ago, whereas Silicon Valley is 30 years in making, right? So we back in Singapore, we don't aim to replicate Silicon Valley. There's no point trying to be like Silicon Valley, but be yourself, focus on something that makes you unique, do it well. That's what we want to do in Singapore. Now, I'll just talk about China in general. Right? To me, China is undoubtedly the #1 startup ecosystem in Asia.
Probably. Why?
No, I mean, quite seriously. Without the quality of founders here in China are actually really high. Right? Not to say that founders in other parts of Asia are dumb, but it's just that you really see a lot of very smart individuals in China. Whether they are graduating from top schools, or they have gone to overseas schools, or their accomplishments, it's just amazing. Right? I think partly is because you are a great and big country, right? Just 1% of your 1 billion population is equivalent to what, 100 million people, 10 million people. That's a lot of talent. Yeah. So it's been a great learning experience for me so far, learning more about Chinese startup ecosystem and getting to know more about the great founders you guys have.
I mean, for me, living here in China for more than 3 years, I also feel that Chinese in general have more a drive to do business, like do their own things. But on the other side, I would also say, like doing startups here, I just assume that the failure rate in China is much higher because a lot of people starting actually their startups are quite short-sighted. They see the money, they see an immediate turnout, but they don't have this long-term vision. But it might change. You might have a different impression.
Sure, I mean, to be honest, Singapore was like that when we started, right? There will be these kind of people who are out there to make a quick buck, to maybe gain something from the government, and after that, that's it. But there's a natural process that will eliminate all these people from the ecosystem. Now, from the genuine founders who started a startup and failed, is that a bad thing? No, they have already gained experience. Right? Even if they don't want to do their next startup, they can join another startup. It's all great for the ecosystem, but you need to start something first before you can bring change to the ecosystem. That's my personal experience, well, helping to grow the ecosystem back home in Singapore, and what I've seen in other ecosystems developing in Asia.
I agree. I mean, many people are not really willing to take this risk, to start their own business. I agree. It's actually pretty impressive here how many people are doing this in China.
But really, just talking about the support that the government have, right? If you're the right kind of individual that the government is looking for, there really are a lot of good incentives for you guys, right? It's not like I'm asking you to sell your house, sell your daughter, and so on and so forth. Look, I mean, there are incentives to help you guys. Maybe you might lose something in the process. Maybe you need to quit your MNC job, and maybe you spend one year doing it. Great, if you don't succeed in 1 year, what's the worst that can happen? Go back to work in your MNC, right? But the kind of experience you have gained doing startups is very different from the kind of experience you will gain working from a corporation, just doing the 9 to 5 job thing.
Okay, I'm interested now. Are there actually differences that you can offer your startups compared to Singapore or like other cities because of China backing you up? Is like the program you can offer to the startups here different?
I would say that yes, in a way yes, but that's partly because of the great support from the government. Right? We work very closely with the government, and as we all know, China is all about the government, right? But our goals are very aligned with what the government is trying to achieve, to drive more innovation and really transform the Chinese economy, right? Right. But because we have such a great working relationship with the government, we are also able to help our portfolio companies gain the kind of support that the government is all offering. At the same time, for overseas startups that we are bringing in from Europe, other parts of Asia, we can help them to set up fast in China, and that's a great value proposition for foreigners, right, who will probably be scared of coming to China in the first place. And to me, that's really important. One of the strengths that Silicon Valley have is its ability to attract talent from all over the world. Now, I've said that there are a lot of talent in China, right? But that doesn't mean that we have a monopoly of talent. Talent exists everywhere. But to build yourself up as a great ecosystem, you just need to be open, get more people in, have more diversity, different kind of people working together, and it just helps improve startups in the overall ecosystem.
I mean, it all sounds good, but to be honest, there must be problems. What kind of challenges do you see here in Chengdu?
Yeah, so I'll just say that we face a very big problem when we came to China. Right? Our usual business model is we work with corporations, and then corporations sort of pay us a fee to be sponsors of the program. We quickly found out that that doesn't work in China. Right? Chinese corporations, and maybe not even Chinese corporations, even multinationals that are based in China, they are just not used to this method of what? Sponsorship? Is this a charity? We are not doing charity, right? So they just don't get it. We have to quickly morph our business model to suit the local market. Right? So it's been a discovery process for us, right? To innovate ourselves and really create something different from China, in China, that will really help make a difference here.
Yeah, just go back to your time also when you lived in Silicon Valley and so on. I would like to know actually what was your most interesting project that you were leading back there. I mean, I read that you, for example, have Amazon to come to Asia, but maybe you have even a more interesting project you could share with us.
Sure. I mean, so maybe just to provide some background, I was working for the Singapore government at the time in the Silicon Valley, and my mission is really simple: is to attract US startups to come to Singapore, and of course, the big tech companies as well, and at the same time help Singapore startups expand to the US. So it's all about startups, it's all about tech and the entire ecosystem. Amazon is probably the project I'm most proud of, because it is big project in terms of monetary value, and it is their first ever data center in Asia. However, there are also other startups that I work with that we managed to put over to Singapore. Some worked out fine, some folded. I mean, that's just a startup life. But I honestly feel that helping them move to Singapore helped make a difference. They found, for example, engineers that they cannot afford to hire in Silicon Valley, or they find it difficult to hire in Silicon Valley because the hunt for talent is just so fierce, right? You have a lot of fierce competition in Silicon Valley. We help them expand in Asia, help them find customers that they probably cannot find if they were to stay put back home. So that made a really big material difference. Now, did I make a difference for Amazon? Probably, but they probably couldn't remember me. They couldn't LS anyway, right? So, yeah.
Okay, I mean, now having Startup Bootcamp here in Chengdu, helping us to develop the digital health industry, potentially, what kind of difference or what kind of benefits will this bring to Chengdu people? I mean, now really hands-on, like, can I buy in the future a product that is produced in Chengdu, which will help me to live a healthier life, or?
Sure, I think what we are really trying to do, our positioning in China is pretty simple, right? We want to be an international accelerator. And by international, I mean bringing international companies to China and working with Chinese companies that have the potential to be international. Now, I stress especially on the second point, right? I see a lot of great startups in China. They are in no way inferior to the ones that I meet in the US. However, the focus is only on China, which I understand, right? It's a big market. But just imagine the possibility if you start expanding your horizon, expanding to Southeast Asia, you will corner the market. I met a lot of founders in Southeast Asia who told me about all these great founders, great companies they find in China, and what they tell me is, thank goodness they are in China, they are not moving here. It's like, whoa, okay, it's an opportunity, right? In terms of the difference that we really want to bring in, the government today, they say that they really want to try to make Chengdu an international place. And it's really what we want to do as well, right? And by international, that's exactly what I mean. Bring international companies in, bring more foreign founders in, foreign employees, even help Chinese companies be global from day one, move out. And we have a great platform around the world. We have a presence in Europe, in Asia, even in America. For the right kind of company, you can expand, right, with our help and the help of our corporate partners somewhere else.
Sounds awesome. Okay, before we go over to the Q&A, I have one more question, which I want to hear from you. What is your inspiration? I mean, what really moves you forward to, like, every day help these startups, take the responsibility, say yes, and just do what you're doing?
I'll say that I'm pretty lucky to be working in this job. I don't feel like I'm working. It's a hobby, and I really mean it. I work pretty long hours. If not for this interest, I probably will just go and work for a corporation who can probably pay me more and put up with more bullshit. But hey, look, I get paid more. I work 9 to 5. That's it. Right? But really, what I want to do here is I want to work with people who are trying to make a difference, transform the future. I want to be part of this. Right? And if you look at the whole talk now about innovation, who's going to make a difference? It's not the multinationals. Multinationals are finding it very difficult to innovate. Right? That's the reason why they want to work with startups. That's the reason why we need guys like yourself. Right? You are the ones who are going to change the future. That's what inspires me and gets me out of bed every day. Honestly.
Thank you. Okay, let's open this now for questions. You've heard what Steven was sharing today. Yeah, please ask him any questions you would like to ask. Anybody wants to start?
用中文也
用中文也可以啊。
没有
Okay, Evan?
Yes.
You need a microphone?
I have a loud voice.
You have a lot. Tall guy.
So you mentioned that you're going to work very closely with the local government. As a long-term expat, I know it's very important to be in the good graces of the local government. What are they going to provide? Are they going to provide like verbal policy, funding, spaces? What are you looking forward to?
The policies that will be disclosed to us have not been formally released yet. So I'm not in a good position to share. I don't want to steal their limelight, but trust me, the policies are really very, very good. Right? The Singapore government had very good policy in the past when we were trying to grow the ecosystem. But man, the policies that Chengdu have is on another planet. It's really, really great. Yeah. So just look up for it, right?
给大家翻译一下，就是刚才 Evan 问的问题，就是说，到成都入驻，做这个加速器以及创业的公司，到底政府给了哪些很好的福利？然后刚才 Steven 就说到了，就是说现在国内政府对创业真的是非常大力的支持，和那个新加坡比起来的话，中国的政府真的是很给力。
Okay, over there.
So, what's your goal here? Like, what direction would you like to lead SBC to?
Sure. So for us, right, Chengdu is our starting point, right? Our goal is over the next 3 years, we're going to expand to the other major cities in China, right? That's one. We want to launch more vertical accelerator programs, and we really want to bring a different business model to China. Now, I can't talk much about it yet. We are still discussing it with our business partner, but I think we do have a very interesting value proposition that will cater to people who want to be entrepreneurs, right? All the way to, hey, the foreign guys, maybe they're raised Series A, Series B, but they want to come here, we will still be in a position to help them, right? We want to be a one-stop shop to help entrepreneurs throughout the entire value chain. That's what we aspire to do.
刚才那个美女问的问题就是说，成都的SBC 在成都的目标是什么？然后能够为成都到底带来什么样的好处？你想怎样引导成都的以及中国的数字健康这个市场？然后刚才Steve 他就回答了说，就是也是他之前他提到的，就是说任何一个初创的公司，它的经营模式都需要当地化。而且他们现在在国内的话，他们希望引进一个完全不一样的商业模式，来符合一个不一样国家的国情和以及它的消费者。所以说，这个是他希望为中国乃至成都这些更多的创业者带来一个很好的平台，去发展、去交流，让更多的人去创业，去改变这个世界。
Questions?
Hi everyone, I'm named as Steven as well. I'm Steven Lau, just in from Korea. So I simply got 2 questions from these main notes. So first, you mentioned about the long-term vision, right? Sorry, it's very tricky. You mentioned about the long-term vision that the Chinese entrepreneurs, especially the Chengduers, that they lack of. So what could you do to bring them up or to make a change? And how do you view the similarities or the discrepancies among those, let's say, accelerators, like between Grind and SBC? This is kind of like our platforms.
Yeah.
What kind of vision do you share with the values? And the second one is, you're doing the digital healthcare market or digital health market. So how do you think about the Chinese medical or healthcare in general? And would you think the Chinese government could be the interferers, or they're more like a helper for you guys?
Thank you. Nice question.
Maybe let me take the first question first.
Let him first translate.
Oh yeah.
刚才那个帅哥是来自韩国的，然后他提了2个很棒的问题。第一个问题就是我简单的说一下，第一个问题就是到底这个价值观是什么？创业者的价值观是什么？然后怎样把这个价值观给推导出去？然后就是在那个数字健康它在国内成都到底是起到了一个辅助的作用，还是一个推进的作用，还是说没有作用？对数字健康这个大的一个概念。
I'll just take the first question first. The second one is worthy of a longer discussion. Now I don't think Chengdu entrepreneurs lack long-term vision. All right, just to clear this misunderstanding, right? What I think is, Chengdu is less mature as a startup ecosystem compared to Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, right? So what do we want to do here? Like I said before, we come in from an international point of view. Right? We're going to bring in other international entrepreneurs. Now, this is also something that the Chengdu government is interested to do. Why? Bringing in people from different experiences, different maturity level, set a bar that can be an example for the local startups to follow, right? I mean, if you have been stuck in your little world, only know this much, this is probably what you think is a successful startup. But suddenly, there's this guy coming up, done this. This is really the bar that people are setting for themselves. Right? It just forces you to think, work harder, to at least be on par, or if not be better. Right? That's what we are all trying to do here, and that's what I think can help make a difference, and hopefully, make us on par with Beijing, Shanghai, blah blah blah. How do we differentiate ourselves from other accelerators? And Startupbootcamp is not an accelerator, it's an events platform, right? Like I mentioned, it's really our philosophy of working closely with the corporates, to promote something tangible that can happen with the startups. And I'll just talk about it using the FinTech Singapore program as a classic example, right? Now, the digital healthcare startup I was talking about, the founders. Right? So they came all the way from Australia. So I asked them why bother coming to our accelerator program. Their challenge is, if they stay in Australia, they have very difficult and very limited opportunities to meet investors and real business partners, insurance companies. Right? In Singapore, there are a ton of insurance companies they can talk to. Right? And thankfully, during the program, they met up with this international firm, is AXA, a French insurance company. Right? And they found that there's a good fit with what AXA is trying to do, and they decided to launch a pilot, a paid pilot. Right? It's not those free pilot thing that you slog for, work very hard for the company and don't get anything. It's really something meaningful. Right? They launched it in Hong Kong, and now, hopefully they will progress to something even bigger with AXA. That's a very concrete example of what we want to achieve in the course of our program, and that's something I think can make a difference. Now, on healthcare in general, if I'm not wrong, there's one very big problem with the healthcare industry in China, which is, I'll just condense it in one word, and it's about trust, right? And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just a foreigner, I haven't been to a hospital in China, right? But from my understanding, most people want to go to only the best hospital in town. And then there's a saying in Chengdu, there's only one particular hospital in Chengdu, and there are the other hospitals. All right, so we all know which hospital I'm talking about. And that, I think, boils down to one fundamental issue: it's about trust. Otherwise, why bother? Why queue for hours to see the doctor for like what, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then next? It's about trust. Now, can digital healthcare bring a difference? Hopefully, right? There's all these advancement in technologies now, in AI, machine learning, IoT, blah blah blah. What they are trying to do is trying to reduce the burden on the primary healthcare system. The healthcare system in general now, and I'm talking in general, is a global phenomenon, right? Is overburdened, right? Is the case in China, is also the same thing in Singapore. Hospitals just don't have enough doctors to handle the heavy patient load that we are seeing now. What is the alternative? Step-down care, where we maybe push responsibility to clinics. That's one possibility. The biggest thing is preventive care. Who likes to visit a hospital? Nobody likes to be sick, right? Okay, maybe the doctors will want you to be sick more often so that they get more money, but seriously, nobody wants to be sick, right? But inevitably, the way the medical system is functioning now is based on a treatment that we say, hey, you're sick, I will feed you this drug, and oh, you're sick again, more drugs, more prescription, more tests, and all that. It's just generating more money this way, right? If you can change the system to make it more preventive, right, so that less people suffer from chronic disease, right, that reduces the burden on the healthcare system, that helps the government save money, and it's better for the lives of citizens. That I think is what digital healthcare is trying to do globally.
就是刚才Steve 说了这么多第一个我简单给大家理一下这个思路就是第一个问题就是说成都的创业环境和北京、上海到底是刚需还是真需？然后就是说成都的创业者为什么选在成都做这个加速区？为什么选在成都做这个健康数字？是因为成都这个城市它和北京、上海的创业环境还有一段距离，而正是这段距离，才让 SBC 看到了这种可能，让成都的创业者更努力的、更有动力的去把这个事情做好。但我们都知道，就是说，当我们不是最好的时候，我们想做最好的这份努力，我们是会最大全心全意的去做的。所以说，这就是刚才这位帅哥问的，就是说，到底我们成都的创业者是缺乏远见，还是说我们就比不过北京、上海？而我们Steve 刚才就说的，这两个都不是真正的问题。真正的问题是我们需要把这个talent， 我们需要把这个人才、把这个资源给国际化、给整合起来，我们才能达到一个新的高度。然后第二个问题就是简单的在聊SBC 它的一个不同点是什么？然后以及数字健康、医疗科技，它到底在成都的一个环境是什么 ？SBC 他们的价值观是和合作伙伴建立信任，然后这个是他们秉持的一个非常重要的一个点，所以说这就是他们不同于其他加速器的一个原因。然后第二个点就是说，数字健康和医疗这两个板块在国内到底是一个什么样的一个阶段？它现在还是一个刚起步的一个阶段，所以说它有很多可以挖掘、可以去提高、可以去改善的一个地方。而正是因为这些机会和可能，才能让科技这个领域注入到医疗、数字健康这个领域，才能产生出更多的火花。对，就是这两个简单的问题，简单的解释一下。
Okay, we have time for one more question, and then afterwards we encourage everybody to, talk to Steven outside. Yeah, I'm sorry because of time limitations. How do I choose now? We have. Okay, who's dancing for me on the spot or something? Okay.
Alright. Just curious. Apart from the healthcare industry, is there any other particular areas or markets SBC will be focused on?
So if you look at our operations globally, right, FinTech is a very strong domain that we are currently operating. We have FinTech accelerators in London, Singapore, New York, Mumbai, and of course, the goal is to launch something in China, which I personally think is probably definitely the #1 FinTech ecosystem in Asia, if not even the world. But there are other interesting areas we are exploring: smart cities, food tech. Now, what exactly is food tech? It can be about agri-tech, production of food. It can be about food safety. It can be about new food health concepts. Right? So that's a very interesting domain that we just started. We have food tech in Rome. We just expanded to Amsterdam, and you know what? I think it's a good fit for Chengdu, right? And other areas could be like IoT, so on and so forth. Just look at what we're operating globally, and you will have an idea of what we're trying to do in China. But as far as possible, we want to replicate what we already have in Europe and America to Asia, to create a global platform.
对，刚才的问题就是说，除了数字健康和医疗，国内还有哪些产业是正在崛起，然后有很大的前景的？然后刚才Steve 这边就说到了2个产业，然后第一个产业的话就是 金融科技，就是我们现在的就是阿里配啊这些金融方面的科技，它也是国内现在有很多机会，然后很多潜力的一个产业。然后另外一个呢，他提到了一个是食物科技，就像我们大家都很熟悉的美团外卖，然后这些都是食物方面的科技公司，它在国内也是将会是一个比较火，然后比较流行的一个产业。所以说这两个产业在除了数字健康、医疗科技的这个产业以外的两个比较火的两个产业。
Yeah, that's it. Sadly, please give a big applause to Steven.